Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. You know, and I'm eager to get the weekend. I'm going to travel and see some friends. You know, but
Okay.
just for a day, because I have to come back for the church, right?
Okay.
And but that's fine. That's fine with me. And yeah, how about your family?
All good.
Okay, that's right. And are they back to church?
Yes.
Okay, good, right? And so um, last class we start talking about British and American English. Remember,
Yes, I remember.
right? Some of the differences from American English, British English, right? And I sent you a link, right, to Paul, right? And we talk about some of differences from British English and American English. Let me start by asking you, Peter. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When you listen to English, can you easily identify if that is British English or uh, American English or
Yes.
any kind of English?
Yes, because the American is more simple to speak.
Okay, that's right. So it's just more simple to get to understand.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. And I'm trying to find the link for the if you don't have, I can send it to you right now. But
Yes, I.
let me make sure. Did you get the link for the difference between uh, British and American English?
You can.
Oh, did you
I
receive?
know, I don't have
Yeah,
the.
yeah. I'm checking here, right?
Yes.
But we had already talked about it, but not so precisely, right?
Yes.
And then where is it? Okay, just a second. I'm going to copy the link and send it to you right away, and getting easier to getting easier and practice your ears. Um, is there a problem if you learn a British English and you go to the United States?
It, it's not a specific problem because you get more difficult to understand.
Okay, but you can manage.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the link for. Well, I'm going to send you the link, but today I'm going to use. We are going to watch together. Let me
Okay.
tell you why. Because I want to stop and make some comments. I want to make some comments. Where are you, Peter? Okay, if you want to make some comments, if you have any question, okay, okay, I'm coming to. Okay, I'm going to open my camera. Oh, where's Peter? Peter, where are you? Okay, right there. Okay, let me write it down. Peter. Okay, it makes my life easier, right? And then, and what about the weather today?
It's good. It's not so hot, but not so.
Oh, do you like this? Do you like this kind of weather?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, now I sent you the link right now. Yeah, but after class or some other time, you can watch and listen again.
Okay.
That will be fine. But here, okay, yes, let me turn it to no. Search. Yeah, clear. Now, American English versus British English. This guy. Okay, let me sit down right here. Okay, good. And let me open. Oh, just my luck. Oh, come on. Yes. I will begin right at the very beginning. Just make sure you are listening well.
Okay. Yes.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Lang Focus channel and my name is Paul. Today we'll be answering the question, how are British English and American English different? One of the most commonly asked questions by learners of English. And hopefully native speakers of English will learn a thing or two from this video as well. The truth is that both British English and American English have numerous varieties, in other words, various accents and dialects. So for the main part of this video, I'll try to focus on the most standard non-regional variety of each one. Disclaimer, I'm not American, I'm actually Canadian, but I'm confident that we will someday be Americans after the invasion. Standard Canadian English is very, very close to general American English, so I will say the American English samples myself, unless there's some specific need to distinguish between American and Canadian pronunciation. There are several ways in which British English and American English are different. Vocabulary, accent, spelling, and grammar. Vocabulary. Let me just throw a bunch of examples at you. In the US, people generally say garbage or trash, while in the UK, they generally say rubbish. Both literally and...
Okay, can you see the TV? Peter?
Hey.
Oh, can you see the TV, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's right.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Lang Focus channel and my name is Paul.
Can you hear well?
What?
Yeah, what is his name?
What is his name? Oh, yeah, his channel is Lang Focus.
Yeah, and what's the name of the speaker?
Oh, I don't remember.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Lang Focus channel and my name is Paul. Today we'll be answering the question, how are British English and American English different?
So how are British and American English different? That is the topic today, okay? All right?
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I just want you to be alert, right? Awake and alert, and then here we go. How, right? Is he American, British,
British.
or Canadian? Italian?
He's British.
Right, so we go.
One of the most commonly asked questions by learners of English. And hopefully native speakers of English will learn a thing or two from this video as well. The truth is that both British English and American English have numerous varieties, in other words, various accents and dialects. So for the main part of this video, I'll try to focus on the most standard non-regional variety of each one. Disclaimer, I'm not American, I'm actually Canadian.
Oh. So he's Canadian, right? But let me talk to you about Canadian English and American English. They're very close, you know?
Okay.
They're standard. When the Canadian talking standard English. I mean, everyone when they talk about standard American English, standard British English. Okay, so what comes to your mind? What we call standard? We talk about the rules and regulations.
Okay.
Examples, right? For example, how do we call that red fruit, right? From the tail, white as snow. You know the red one?
Yes.
Yeah, what is the name of that fruit? That sorry?
Oh, what is?
Oh, it's an apple.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, everywhere in the United States, everywhere you go, people are going to say apple. Okay?
Okay.
If you travel to Canada, apple. If you go to Australia, apple. If you go to, whatever you go, there is nowhere in this world, in this planet, people are going to say apple. No. So we are talking about standard English, right? So we
Okay.
talk about this one. And so you just remember that Canada, they have English and to the eastern and French to the western, right? Western Canada. So that's it.
Okay.
And sometimes they get a little bit accent, right? And so, but that's if you are, I guess, if you are in the middle, so you're going to have some French accent and American accent, and so that's okay. Good. That's good.
Native speakers of English will learn a thing or two from this video as well. The truth is that both British English and American English have numerous varieties, in other words, various accents and dialects. So for the main part of this video, I'll try to focus on the most standard non-regional variety of each one. Disclaimer, I'm not American, I'm actually Canadian, but I'm confident that we will someday be Americans after the invasion. Standard Canadian English is very, very close to general American English, so I will say the American English samples myself, unless there's some specific need to distinguish between American and Canadian pronunciation. There are several ways in which British English and American English are different: vocabulary, accent, spelling, and grammar.
Okay, so what is Paul talking? What is Paul talking about? Paul is talking about there are several ways in which British English and American English are different, and he talks about there are numerous varieties. Okay, numerous.
Yes.
So I never say what is right, what is wrong. I say, well, in New York, some people are going to speak like this. But if you travel all the way to Washington, I'm not talking about Washington, D.C., but I'm talking about Washington, the state, up to the western north, okay, the western or northwestern. Probably they are going to have a different accent. And even though people from Texas, like Brazil, you know, every area, every state, city, probably you're going to face a very different pronunciation. So they talk about vocabulary, accent, spelling, and grammar, right?
Right.
Vocabulary. Let me just throw a bunch of examples at you. In the US, people generally say garbage or trash, while in the UK, they generally say rubbish.
Okay, now the first one. Here we got the first one. In the United States, vocabulary, people are going to say garbage and trash.
Okay.
If you go to the UK, you better use the word rubbish. Okay? One student asked me, if I talk garbage in UK, if I say rubbish in the United States, are they able to understand? Yes, because that's English, right?
Okay.
Don't worry much about it. But people will say, "Oh, are you from London? Are you from UK?" Because of pronunciation, or maybe because of the vocabulary you're going to use, right?
Okay.
But don't. I mean, you have to, Peter. You have to decide. You have to decide what kind of English are you're going to talk. The problem is when a student they make a big mess. For example, they are going to speak with American accent and using British words. Oh, can you put that rubbish out? Oh, you better say garbage, right?
Okay.
And so you're not going to say, I would like to open and take the subway to work. But yeah, you talk about British and probably better say underground, right? But you don't make a mess. Even using vocabulary.
Both literally and figuratively. The day was rubbish. Americans go on vacation, while Brits go on holiday.
Okay,
And that's also
holiday.
possible in American English. In the US, people rent apartments, while in the UK, they rent flats. In the US, if your apartment is at street level, then you live on the first floor, and the person above you lives on the second floor. In the UK, you live on the ground floor, and the person above you lives on the first floor.
Okay, this one is very interesting and dangerous, right? This one is very interesting and dangerous. Imagine. Oh, what is camera? This one? No. Okay, okay. Just a second. This camera, and now this. Oh, I'm lost here. Just a moment. Which camera is this? Oh, this one? Yes. Sorry. Yeah, different camera. And so let me tell you why I got one, two, three, four, five cameras, right? Because one is on the uh, YouTube recording, and the other for the Facebook. We are live at Facebook, and one is for the television. One camera for the television, and one camera for me. Okay, and then sometimes I got lost, but that's okay. Don't worry much. Right, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. And then we get vocabulary. Here you go. Second floor. What is the difference that you see in the first picture and the second picture? I mean, America and UK.
There is the difference of the second and the first floor. The ground floor and just in the first floor.
Yes. What is that? That's a big problem because if you have uh, understanding about the first floor in the United States, they talk about this floor. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Right. In England, first floor, they talk about this floor.
Yeah.
And make sure when you rent or you buy an apartment, make sure that the first floor, right? If you are in the United States, if you are in England or UK, you are talk about that's the same word, first floor, but the idea is completely different, right? So you go to the first floor. In the United States, you go to this apartment, right? And in the United Kingdom, you come to this apartment. But if you think this is the first floor, this one no, you are on the second floor. Peter, can you imagine if you take the keys and you open the door of a wrong apartment? You know, the whole family is there, and you open the door, and people will say, "Oh, call the police! Call the police!"
Yeah.
You know, so you're in trouble, right? Or a couple is having a romantic night, right? And you go and you open the door. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, now you're in trouble. But that happens because sometimes people make a mess with the first floor and second floor, right? And they're going to say the ground floor. Then you remember, right? And so here we go.
If If that person above you is unable or just too lazy to take the stairs, in the US, they take the elevator. In the UK, they take the lift. When you're bored at home, in the US, you might turn on the TV, while in the UK, you would turn on the telly. When you step outside of your building to go for a walk, in the US, you might walk on the sidewalk, while in the UK, you walk on the pavement. And if you're tired of walking, in the US, you might take the subway. In the UK, you take the underground. In the US, it's perfectly okay to wear pants when you're riding the subway. But in the UK, you'd better wear some trousers too, because pants means underpants.
Okay, let me explain this. This is another confusing words and
Yes.
trouble, right? And trouble. For example, in the United States, you better say, okay, you guys put Canada right there. Just, okay, that's right. And he put one star here. Okay, that's really nice. So pants, these are talk about pants, right? Trousers, they talk about this.
Okay.
It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, right? How do you go to the park? Are you going wearing pants or trousers? It depends. Yeah, if you are in the US, it's okay, pants. But if you are in the US, you better say trousers because pants, they understand underpants.
Okay.
Now
I'm
you,
so confused.
yeah, now you are in trouble. You say, oh, the pastor's son is wearing pants on the street. No, I was wearing trousers. Ah, okay. We talk about trousers. No, that's okay, right? So try to avoid embarrassment. Okay,
Yeah.
try to avoid embarrassment. Even though, because for example, you got a pants for you wearing pants. Talk about panties, right?
Right.
For boys, we say pants. For girls, we say panties.
Okay.
You see the difference in pronunciation?
Yeah. But in the right is the same thing.
Yeah, for girls, panties,
Okay.
right? For boys, you're going to say pants. And I remember, for example, I was teaching in São Paulo in the classroom, and then I taught about pants and panties, and I asked a boy, "Are you wearing pants or panties?" And the boy looked at me and said, "Oh, I'm wearing panties." I thought to myself, "Oh, I guess he didn't understand." So I explained again, and I took a paper, right? And I took a paper. Okay, so let me explain. And I drew a picture, and I look at the guy and say, "Look, talk about panties, right? So these are panties. Okay, that's right. Okay, good. For example, I am a man. I'm wearing pants. Oh, Sandra is a girl. Are you wearing pants or panties?" And Sandra answered, "Oh, I'm wearing panties." Okay, that's right. And what about you, Richard? "I'm wearing panties." Oh my. And the guy look at you. Look. Oh, just my look. He was a gay, you know, and he was wearing panties. And I said, "Oh, just my luck," you know. And then it was really funny that day. You know, I will never forget. I will never forget that day. And then you have to pay attention because sometimes people say, "Oh, teacher, America understand." It depends, right? It depends. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends, right? And here we go. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Underground. In the US, it's perfectly okay to wear pants when you're riding the subway. But in the UK, you'd better wear some trousers too, because pants means underpants. And specifically, women's underpants are sometimes referred to as knickers in the UK. So when someone overreacts to something in the US, you might say, don't get your panties in a bunch. But in the UK, you would say,
Don't get your knickers in a twist.
Paul, how dare you be so crude? Now I can't show this video to my 6-year-old students.
oh, don't even worry about that. They'll just watch it on their phones during recess. Going back to the word pants for a moment, it can also be used in British English as an adjective, meaning something is crappy or it sucks. For example,
That album is pants.
in American English, you might say, that album sucks. Accent. So for the US, I'll try to focus on general American English, and for the UK, I'll try to focus on received pronunciation. These are the accents you're likely to hear on CNN and the BBC, respectively.
Oh, you're going to have an ad. Right? Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
R sounds. American English is rhotic, meaning that R sounds are always clearly pronounced. British English is non-rhotic, meaning that the R sound is not pronounced unless it's followed by a vowel sound. Listen to the difference. My father's in the car.
My father's in the car.
Let's focus on two words. Father,
Father,
car.
car.
Notice that the final R sound is not pronounced in British English.
Okay, let me just stop by. Can you see the difference? Or can you hear the difference when you say father, father, and car? You pronounce, okay?
Yeah.
So when we talk about rhotic, they gotta say rhotic and non-rhotic. American English, it's much more rhotic than British English, okay?
Yes.
So that's why let's talk about John 3:16. An American guy is gonna say, "For God so loved the world that He gave the only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish but have everlasting life." That's okay. Too much rah 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 rah. So that's basically different, right? From a guy trying to say, yeah, in British English, it goes like, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on Him should not perish, but have everlasting life." There's no much you see?
Yes.
So that's why when you talk American English, you better say, okay, American English. When you talk about American English, you better exaggerate. The word is exaggerate on your like this, right? Sounds are usually clearly pronounced. So no rhotic, you gotta say rhotic like this. Probably a British guy say rhotic, right? Rhotic or rhotic. Sound is not pronounced unless it's followed by a vowel sound. And now they show you the difference, right? So notice that the final R, notice, you gotta say notice. You know rhotic, let's say rhotic like British, notice. America, notice. They gotta say notice like this. Notice that the final R sound is not pronounced. It's not pronounced. Nasal sound, not pronounced in British English. Okay? So you practice.
Okay.
So you practice. And don't be afraid. Don't be shy to okay? So that's English. That's another language. Okay, my friend?
Okay.
All right, sir?
All right.
To the fifth, right? Here you go.
Father ends in a simple schwa vowel, like father. And in car, the vowel sound is lengthened in place of the R sound.
Car.
Now, the thing about British non-rhotic accents that I find pretty wild is something called the intrusive R. That means that people sometimes add an R sound to a word that doesn't actually have one if it's followed by a vowel in the next word. For example, in the sentence, I saw a film. In British English, it sometimes sounds like this.
I saw a film.
So you can hear that there's an R sound connecting saw and I once had a British on-the-job trainer, and I remember she said, "Hello, my name is Paula, and I'll be your trainer today." I remember thinking, Paula? What? You can't say your own name? But it wasn't just her, that was the intrusive R. T sounds. In British,
Okay, do they say about intrusive?
Yes.
Yeah, even in Portuguese. Oh, depends on the sentence or the phrase. Sometimes you have what we call linkers, clusters, or what they call intrusive, right? That is a word that is introduced to. For example, when you say, eu fui com ele, I'm talking in Portuguese, aí eu fui com ele. But in Portuguese, for example, eu fui com ele, right? You're going to be com ele, yeah? And com ela, para ele, para ele, para ela, para ela. And I was talking to a student one day. The student insisted, say, no, teacher, nobody speaks like this in Brazil. Say, you have to pay attention every time you pronounce, every time you talk, and you see. They say, no, nobody speaks like that. Ninguém fala assim no Brasil. I say, okay, let's stop for a while. Ninguém fala. Eu sei, ninguém fala assim no Brasil. Why didn't I say? Ninguém fala assim no Brasil. Why did I say ninguém fala assim no Brasil? It's linkers, guys, no Brasil. But you don't pay attention because it's normal. You talk like this, right?
Yes.
Eu fui com ele para o parque. Eu fui com ele no parque. Ou fui com ele para o parque. And para o parque, say, fui com ele para o parque. And para o, so you're going to change pro. No.
Yeah.
Say no, pay attention. Eu falei para você não ir com ele. Eu falei para você não ir com ele. Eu falei para você não ir com ele. Say pro você. Pro você. Oh, that's Portuguese. Believe me or not, guy. Believe me or not. You know, I love languages. I love Portuguese, you know, and I love the way we talk. Because the way we write, there's no connection with the way we talk. And when you start to learn another language, and you pay more attention to your own language. Right?
Right.
Okay, good. Now, it's the same in other language, in French, German, and so on. People get some clusters, linkers, intrusive, okay, words like this one. Good.
Sounds like this.
I saw a film.
So you can hear that there's an R sound connecting saw and I once had a British on-the-job trainer, and I remember she said, hello, my name is Paula, and I'll be your trainer today. I remember thinking, Paula? What? You can't say your own name? But it wasn't just her, that was the intrusive R. T sounds. In British English,
Oh,
and
sorry,
again,
sorry,
I must emphasize that I'm
I-
talking about the accent.
I have to stop again because I remember my grandson's name is João,
Okay.
right? But nobody talks, people say João, João.
Yes.
The right one, oh, João tá aí, João. That's not his name is João. But you know, that what happens to, you talk about Paula, hey, Paula, put it all together. We usually do things like this.
Referred to as received pronunciation, T sounds are pronounced as hard T's, in other words, voiceless T sounds. In the US, they sometimes sound like an alveolar tap instead of T, an alveolar stop. This normally occurs in an unstressed syllable between two vowel sounds, or between a vowel and a rhotic sound, like an R sound. So in the US, people say butter. In the UK, they say
Butter.
in the US, stop fighting. In the UK,
Stop fighting.
you may have also noticed that the O sound in the word stop was a little different, which brings me to O sounds. In the word stop, the American O sound is an unrounded vowel, ah, while the British O sound is rounded, aw. Another example, hot.
Hot.
There's also the O diphthong in the word no. In the UK,
No.
in the UK, the sound is a schwa followed by an as in put. Show.
Show.
A sounds. In other words, sounds represented by the letter A. Ah in UK English normally becomes an A sound in American English. For example, in the UK,
Half.
and in the US, half. Words with A in British English remain pretty similar in American English. In the UK,
Cat.
and in the US, cat. An exception is a small set of words in which the A is followed by a double R, in which case the vowel is pronounced as in the US. In the UK,
marry,
in the US, marry.
Okay, talking about differences in pronunciation,
Yes.
you go for the two words. Oh, sorry, for the two words. Marry, okay, like marry. Oh, okay, marry. Maybe I guess in this case, I will have to interfere because probably they're gonna say marry and marry. The round sounds gonna be like more. For example, like a half, right? Like half and half. Oh, what time is it? 6.5. What is it? 6.5 or 6.5. Half. Then it's longer. It's gonna be longer than. This is the plural of a man, two men, a man, two men. You feel the difference?
Yes.
Right. So this is what we talk about. Oh, I saw two men in the park. Oh, I saw a man in the park. The man. So you better to exaggerate. Sometimes I'd better exaggerate to make it clear. Okay, to make it clear. So we say, oh, what? So for example, let's talk about what's the name? How do we call your father's sisters?
It's short uncle.
Oh, yes, that's right. Say it again, please.
Uncle.
Oh, that is the man. Yeah, I'm talking about the sister. Okay, the man is your
Okay,
uncle,
okay.
right?
His aunt.
Yes, that's right. So that's American pronunciation,
Yes.
because I got a student say aunt. Okay, British people are gonna say aunt, and I hate it. But that's okay. That's the way they do it, right? That's the way they pronounce it. And so that's okay. But that sounds like strange to my ears. That's like strange to my ears. So let's say aunt, good, right? But some
Okay.
people say, then how do you pronounce formiga in English? Aunt. Oh, and how do you pronounce chia? Aunt. Yes, that's okay, right? The context, the context is going to help you understand for sure, right? Unless you feel like killing your aunt. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, good, right? So half, 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 right? And it's like this. Good. But that's it.
Because of the difference, in the US, marry and married sound the same. Carry and carry sound the same. Spelling. American and British spellings are largely the same, but there are a few notable differences. This is in large part because Noah Webster, whom the Webster Dictionary is named after, made an effort to reform English spelling in the 1700s in order to make the words spelled the way they sounded. This resulted in some spelling changes in American English. Most, but not all, words that end in RE in the UK end in ER in the US. For example, center, theater, meter, somber. Some words that end in NCE in the UK are spelled with NSE in the US. License, defense, offense. Some words with OU in the UK are spelled with O in the US. Color, favor, honor, labor.
Okay, sometimes, Peter, let me show you something. For example, I got a book right here. Bernard Cornwell. Can you see the book? Somewhere?
Yeah.
Right here. Okay, Cornwell. What I usually do when I start reading an English book, right? I come to the front page, right? So they call I call that the register, right? And then right here on this page, so you're going to say where the book was printed, right? Where it was printed. So you say, in this case, copyright Bernard Cornwell, published by Harper Collins and printed and bound in Great Britain by Clays. Okay, that's all right. So probably chances are that the vocabulary, the spelling is going to be British English, okay? So in the very beginning. Or sometimes, for example, you open in any page or one or two pages, and I start to read. Uh, okay, that's right. And so they're going to have a word, right? Probably that's going to be spelled, have a spell like this, like honor with O-R or O-U-R. If it is spelled O-U-R, probably that is a British English. Okay?
Okay.
So you can identify. So it's very good for you to have an idea of. And some of the I call the literature trait. Literature trait. Oh, you say, oh, the sentence or this phrase sounds like British English. Because American, they're not going to put up the word like this. Or like in Portuguese from Portuguese and Portuguese from Portugal, right?
Okay.
So it's going to help you a lot. Probably one vocabulary here in Brazil. Probably you're going to have a different vocabulary there in Portugal, right?
Right.
But if you talk to a guy from Angola, from Mozambique, Timor-Leste, Brazil, Portugal, of course, okay, Cabo Verde, if I'm not mistaken, Cabo Verde, you are going to communicate, no problem, right? No problem. Maybe some different words or things like this.
etc. The ending ISE became IZE in the US. Organized, apologize. A similar change also occurs in other contexts where the S is voiced. In other words, it makes a Z sound. Analyze, cozy. There are verbs ending with L that take a doubled L in British English when a suffix is added. In American English, there's no double L. Traveled, canceled, marvelous. If you're wondering how the last one fits in with the others, remember that marvel is a verb, and then an adjectival suffix is added to it. Grammar. There are only very minor grammatical differences between British English and American English. Auxiliary verbs. British people use shall for the future much more than Americans, as well as to ask for advice or an opinion. Some difference in preposition use. In the US, people say on the weekend, but in the UK, they say at the weekend.
Okay, remember I told you, I never tell my student that's right or wrong. When I correct a text, I used to write down British English. Okay? I just make sure that they know it's British English. Oh, what is this noise? Right, and right here they talk about Brits use shall. Shall. There's a noise here. Shall. For example, what is the shall from? They say, I will, American, British, I shall. You will, British, you will. Right?
Right.
He will, British, he will. She will, British, she will. It will, British, it will. The same, right?
Yes.
We will, British, we shall. You will, British, you will. They will, British, they will. What do you have to remember? The first person singular and the first person plural in British English, you say shall.
Okay.
I shall, you will, he, she, it will, we shall, you, they will. Okay? But they don't use, shall is not used so frequently anymore. Okay?
Okay.
That's right. So, but preposition is always a problem. But if you say on the weekend, different from them, right? And at the weekend.
And in the US, people say different from or different than, but in the UK, they say different from or different to. There are some different past tense forms. For example, in American English, the past tense of the word learn is learned, while in British English, it's more common to say learnt. Actually, both forms are used in either country, but there is more of a tendency towards one form. This is true for other words like dreamed versus dreamt, burned versus burnt, leaned versus leant, etc. Another example, in the US, the past tense of dive is usually dove. In the UK, it's dived. Maybe the American form developed by analogy with drive and drove. Anyways, differences like these are not consistent, but you'll notice some different past tense forms here and there. Past participles. Sometimes past participles have a different form. The most well-known example is for the verb get. In the US, there's get, got, gotten. But in the UK, it's get, got, got. Both forms, got and gotten, have existed since the Middle English period, but gotten has fallen out of use in the UK. Got can be used in American English in the form have got, but with the meaning of have, not have received or have become. I haven't gotten the eviction notice yet.
I haven't got the eviction notice yet.
All right, let's check a couple more sentences and see what we encounter.
Oh, one more to be commercial.
Compras for Bahia, o primeiro híbrido invadido no Brasil. O que acontece se ele passar na água? Por ele ser híbrido nada.
So,
Ele funciona exatamente como qualquer outro carro normal, só que mais eficiente. Esse Jeep é uma máquina.
In the US, I think we need a lawyer. In the UK,
I reckon we need a solicitor.
Okay, that's right. What you're going to do, for example, I want you to continue and finish watching the video, right? And I'm going to send you that's not how to use your dictionary. I'm not going to talk about it, right? And then test yourself maybe for I'm going to send you a text about test yourself and a couple of questions and stuff. Right. And for example, when you watch movies, do you watch American movies or you watch British, Canadian movies?
More American movie.
Yeah, so you're more exposed to American movies, right?
Yeah.
In your opinion, right? Do they? Just a second. It's too noisy. It's too noisy. In your opinion, do they speak too fast, or the problem is the pronunciation or the accent? Okay, sorry?
You talk about movies.
Yeah, because you are absolutely right. Because we are more exposed to American movies. But what you have to have in mind, I used to tell my students, that's okay. When you listen to, for example, a movie from Sylvester Stallone, right? And Sylvester Stallone got a lot of accent, Italian accent, because in fact, he's not American, he's from Italy, right? The same when you listen to Madonna. Madonna is originally from Italy, and they got some accent. When you watch movies from Arnold Schwarzenegger, right, you have to remember, and people say, Eduardo, why do you say so? Yes, they have accents. If you practice your ears, right, you are going to understand clearly. Sometimes they are going to let it go, like an accent in a word or another, right? Oh, when people talk about Barack Obama, remember Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Oh, he was the president of the United States. Question: did he have accent?
Yes.
Yeah, he got a strong African accent. And I remember in a movie, in a video, Barack Obama said, Sasha, my daughter, sometimes she corrects me. I say a word and she said, no. And Barack Obama was talking about this, right? And so I want you to continue to watch this video, and I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to scan and send it to you. Let us test yourself talking about pronunciation and some of the words, how to pronounce the words properly, right? So for homework, you're going to read, record, and send it to me. So that's it. Okay, and so this is all. That's all I had for today. That's all I had for today. All right. You're going to watch the movie. If you have any question, next class we can continue talking about it. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
And don't drink too much.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.